I'm Whelan Barzey from the British Blacklist,
Oh,
and today we are honoured and guests to have our amazing guest, the talented and also amazing Celeste.
hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's nice to meet you.
No worries, pleasure to meet you as well. I just wanted to ask, how are you doing today?
I'm really good, actually. I've had a pretty good day. I've had a busy sort of end to my year. But considering everything's been non-stop today, I'm feeling pretty together. So, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Given everything that's going on, I just wanted to talk specifically about your contribution to this amazing Disney Pixar film Soul, and how does one go about getting a Celeste on the soundtrack? What does that cool sound like?
I mean, to me, I'm not sure the exact ins and outs of it, but I know that the team from Soul and Disney reached out, along with Jon Batiste, to sort of put together a lot of the music for this film. And I was just honoured to even be considered to be a part of this. And I guess, although I've been writing for a long time, it's only been in the last year or so that people have begun to sort of like really realise my music and voice and stuff. So at such an early stage in my career, as far as it is seen from the outside, it's just an honor to be able to do this at this stage in my career, basically. So, yeah.
No, that's amazing. And for those of us who have been listening to you for quite a while, and songs like Both Sides of the Moon and Lately, the first thing that we think isn't necessarily children's film because of how mature some of the content is. But I feel like your voice and your I guess your perspective definitely lends itself to a film like this that explores very deep themes. What does it feel like to be able to transfer your emotional palette onto a film like this?
Oh, thank you. That's so lovely. Well, yeah, I think a lot, I guess I explore adult themes and sometimes quite melancholic sort of ideas and mundane, but like sort of romanticized kind of thing. But I think the reason why I could like find myself and a voice in this song is just because it's quite matter of fact, which is something that I always sort of appreciate in music as a whole. And it's quite sort of obsolete in its message. It just says it's all right, you know. And I just think that with that, you can just sort of take like jest, and it's not too serious. And in that, you can find comfort as well as sometimes like the darker stuff. So I was relieved actually to be a part of a song that is a bit more upbeat, because I'm kind of rubbish at writing upbeat songs. So I was glad to be brought into something that could lift my mood a bit. Because otherwise I find I go into shows and I'm like literally, you know, like the doom and gloom sort of generator, and I don't really find my moments of sort of light, and you know, so yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it.
Now listen to the beat and kind of catch your feet.
I'll respectfully disagree with your own assessment of songwriting abilities.
Okay.
I've definitely felt happy listening to your music.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's really lovely. I'm glad.
Of course. I was just thinking specifically this song, because I know that you tend to write a lot of your own music, but this time yourself and Jon Batiste are doing an amazing rendition of Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions, It's All Right. What does it feel like to be able to give that level of optimism, and especially the fact that as for a younger generation, a lot of them have never heard this before, and the first voice they're going to attach to it is yours. So what does that feel like?
Yeah, I didn't think about that, because yeah, like I grew up listening to Curtis Mayfield, and you kind of forget that over time some of these sorts of singers, they don't always then travel to the next generation, but they find their way eventually, like how some of those singers did to me and I found my way to them, kind of thing. But yeah, oh my god, no one's actually said that before, so that's really, really cool, because I just love Curtis Mayfield, and I've listened to him since I was about 14. I think I sort of like found him of my own accord, but from like sort of hearing stuff that my mum was listening to and like all of that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, now you've said that, I'm kind of taken back by it. It's really cool. I hope that children actually then sort of discover the rest of his music, because it inspired me so much growing up. I think I found Curtis Mayfield probably when Kanye West did Touch the Sky. So yeah, that was my in. So,
that makes two of us.
yeah.
As me and you are the same generation, like you said, I can recall growing up in the house and hearing music like this, but I guess now it's sort of our responsibility to make sure that we transfer that, and you more so, like as a creative, I guess like the power's in your hands and in your voice, and you did an amazing job of just letting everybody feel this feeling for the first time, for those who hadn't. So I can't wait for the children to hear your voice at the end of the song, at the end of the film, I should say.
Thank you.
No worries. And I also recall, I guess just the level of theme in this film in terms of, I guess the depiction of Black culture, which is just not something that we've seen like as a society growing up. With Disney and Pixar finally coming to this, I guess, realization and being able to deliver on such a film, I just wanted to know what it was like for yourself, because I remember seeing an interview of yours where you were talking about how confidently and proud you wear your hair, and how you feel like it's like a beacon for younger women that look like us and come from our culture. So what's it like seeing, I guess, Angela Bassett's character and Felicia Rashad's wear their hair in that way in an animated form?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'd never seen anything like that growing up. So to know that that's something that's going to travel now to like lots of children like you and I growing up is going to mean so much, because like you can find sort of like your idols. Because actually earlier someone asked me who my favorite Disney princess was, and I was sort of scrambling for who that really was, because there were so many stories I loved, and I was saying I liked Betty Boop like in the 30s, and I liked Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I think that was Disney. And then I remembered Princess Jasmine from Aladdin. But I guess she was probably like the only woman of color that you saw in Disney in our sort of era of growing up with that sort of thing. And I know since then there's been Princess Tiana, but I hadn't really grown up with that, you know, wanting to get that costume kind of thing. So it's just, I'm so grateful that to be a part of something that will hopefully sort of like empower and inspire, you know, people of color, but also people outside of that as well. And it's amazing that it's a majority Black cast. And there's also just like an amazing storyline and narrative that sort of transcends race. It's kind of like, this is just a story about a human being, and there is like Black culture because there is jazz and there is blues and there is soul. But ultimately you can just like look at this story and just understand it and take from it what you will for your own self. And I'm so happy that it kind of, it doesn't play into stereotypes to exist kind of thing, and it's just its own free thing. So yeah.
No, that's a beautiful way of I guess explaining the film, because myself, I remember dressing up as Woody just because we didn't have any so so I've definitely been there. I guess in closing, I just wanted to ask how you intend to watch this film with one of your loved ones, and what you're looking forward to this Christmas.
Well, I'm gonna watch it with my family. It'll be the first time they see it, and so I'm just excited for them to like enjoy the soundtrack, enjoy the story. It's definitely quite phenomenal in sort of like how it uncovers and exposes different ideas, but is also open and relevant to like, I'm sure, and it's all encompassing to like lots of different people's ideas and ideologies, which is why I was so drawn to it, because I feel I'm quite open in that sense myself. Yeah, I'm excited to see like my granddad's reaction, who's like nearly 80, and then my mum's reaction, who's 50, and then my boyfriend's going to see it for the first time too. So yeah, it's going to be lovely just to see like everyone witness it and see their reactions. I'll be interested if anyone cries, anyone laughs, anyone's moving around, boogieing around the living room. So yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I do hope you have a lovely Christmas, and we look forward to seeing you, hearing you, and speaking to you again.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much. It was nice
Thank you so much, Whelan.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.